If someone asked me if I could only wrestle one guy for the next 20 years, every night the rest of my life, pick that guy without a hesitation, it would be our guest. He is such a talented performer, one of a million in the ring, the one and only one half of the Head Shrinkers, the great Samu. Sammy, thank you
Mike,
so
how
much
are
for
you?
joining us.
Good to see you, my friend.
You too. Oh, I'm so excited, man. This is great. It's great just to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Too long.
I was thinking as I was going through my notes, I was like, when did Sam and I meet? I'll tell you. You're not going to remember this story, but I'll tell you when we met. It was 1993. I just started doing TV. I was 19 years old. It was like
Oh,
my second TV. The TV before, I worked with the Quebecers,
okay.
and they weren't that great with the enhancement talent. I'll tell you that. They landed on you pretty damn hard. So then the next TV, I was wrestling them again, and I was like, oh man, here we go again. And then for some reason their plane didn't show up, so they switched it with the Head Shrinkers. So there I am. I'm like legit 19, peering in the locker room, and there you and Junior are sitting, and you look at me and you're like, we don't bite, come on in here. And ever since then, it was like smooth sailing. I was like, these guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Always a pleasure with you. All the years and stuff, they go by so fast, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. They really do. They really do. Speaking of years, you broke in what, at age 14?
Yeah, well, 14, I started training seriously, and I got in there probably around 17. I started down in Dallas. It's pretty fun time, just getting going, dipping the wind, getting them a little wet, so. And Babyface down there, of course, working with like Kabuki and King Kong Bundy, Kamala, a lot of the, old world-class guys. So I learned a lot down there.
Did you work with the Von Erichs?
Not them, not at that time. Like I said, I was babyface then, and actually I was only down there for about 6 months, and then I went from there down to Pensacola. Sika got off the plane there. They had just won the tag team belts then, and he had a broken hip, so he couldn't, he couldn't do a loop or anything like that for 6 months. He couldn't do anything. So he says, go up, since you're off now, and visit my dad. He said it's a good time to take this belt with you and give it to your dad for me, and tell them I'm gonna be, out for 6 months. So I'm sure they all knew that, but this was Sika's story to me, because they were just won the belt. Like, we had just finished helping my aunt load up the trailer and everything because they were going to be moving up to Connecticut. And like I said, he got off with the broke hip and sent me up there. And luckily at that time, well, they tried to replace actually Sika with another Samoan. It was with someone else, and my dad didn't like the idea because it wasn't just his partner; it was his brother. He only wanted to tag with Captain Lou or his son. And at that time, Andre was in and out of Texas and all over the world. And he had seen me and, told Vince McMahon Sr. that I was a big kid and to give me a shot. And that's pretty much what happened there.
So you're, what are you, 18, 19 years old?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I was 17, just turning 18. Yeah.
Wow, and you're with the WWF, teaming with your dad, off of the wall Samoan. Wow.
Yeah, it was for a young kid, it was a dream come true for sure. It still is. So very lucky. And not only that, all the help that I got in the ring from all the guys, and they were all top caliber guys. So I was lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time.
Who taught you the most?
Oh, shoot, you learn a lot on the road, especially when you're put in a position like that. I often ask my dad, am I holding up my hand? What do you think? He said, well, if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. So, think more positive and roll with the punches. And then Sika got better. We came back, we did some 6-man tags, and it was a good time. But yeah, good time for being young. So, a lot of mistakes you make when you're young, we all do. But good time. I wouldn't change it.
You wrestled Bob Backlund early on, didn't you?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Any good Bob Backlund stories?
Oh no, not just you knew you were going to get stretched when you went out there. It was kind of like Beckers. It's like,
Yeah.
go out there, it was like, all right. And it was just, he's a night off, really. It was just a few things that were snug, but you knew it was coming, so it was no big surprise. So. But yeah, no, I love Bobby. He's a good guy. He took care of me, helped me out a lot.
Why did that first run end?
Just I was green. The 6-man tag had already took its course, and at that time, no one stays in the territory that long. Everybody stays for their run, and then they go away and come back again because they have different territories to go to. Like I said, I was coming between Texas and Louisiana, and I ended up just going up to New York and getting lucky there. But yeah,
I talked to you about teaming with Hulk Hogan.
that was fun. We only had a couple of matches. I think he twisted his knee or something, and he had to leave early. But just getting the luck of the draw like that for in the IWGP tournament was fun, and it was a MSG IWGP tournament. So it was pretty cool to be able to represent, WWE, I guess.
Thoughts on Hulk Hogan in general?
Well, I learned a lot. He's a busy guy. he keeps moving. Hogan's all right. I mean, he was very, very much the top guy, so we didn't like go out and hang out together or nothing. But he was all right. He was all right with me. No problem.
And then after Japan, did you go back and work for Fritz again?
No, not for a while. From there, from WWE, I went over to Montreal. Started working with International, and got the belt from Dino, and held that for a couple of years. But then Dino ended up going down to WWE. Left me up there with the fort and the cold, and but yeah, and Fatu was up there too. I was heel up there, and Fatu got him in there, got him up there at a real young age too, and he was doing babyface while I was doing the heel. And then when we left there, it was like, let's get together and do tag team and go back to Texas. So that's when we got back to Texas.
As heels?
Oh yeah. That's when the Samoan SWAT team was born.
What was it like working with the Von Erich boys?
It was good. It was experience, fun. They were good to work with. I mean, they were the top baby faces there, and for a long time, forever, still are. I mean, they're part of the foundation in Texas. And when you say Texas, the Von Erich's name starts flashing somewhere and stuff. But yeah, we had a bunch of good matches with them. We had to slow them down a little bit a few times, but nothing major. Everything came out good, and we ended up having some good matches with them. And then Michael Hayes and Steve Cox, we did a lot of matches with them. With Buddy Roberts as our manager, that was fun too. Buddy, he liked to have a couple. Well, we all did. They like to have a couple Talofas there, and we'd always mess with Buddy. Good times though.
What was Fritz like as a boss?
Never really talked to him. Somebody else was always in the booking. Never really seen Fritz too much. He'd come in, I guess, and count the money and leave. But we never really seen him in the dressing room.